Interesting. One of the guys that threw the bricks through my window. This is like a weird Facebook slash, how bad. My parents actually said, so and so. He's been coming by our house. He actually moved back in with his mother. He's been in rehab. And the police have been there many times, but he's doing better. And he always asks about you. I'm like, that guy? The guy that called me faggot, threw bricks from me, stole my mailbox? I mean, it was like insane. And then he's like, my mom said rehab, I'm like, oh. So I've actually dated gay men who have gone to rehab, and they're all calling me up to make amends, or they want to meet me to make. Because part of the 12-step program is to make amends for all of this, the pain and suffering you've caused other people through your addiction. So I totally wanted to honor that, because I had gay guys call me up going, hi, I know that time I called you at 3 in the morning, I needed $800 because I was mugged. I wasn't mugged. I said, I know, I didn't answer the phone. But so I went down to his house, down the street from my parents I was visiting, and he's like, she just saw me. It was such a weird moment where I was still like this amazing gay person, and he was kind of a mess, but trying to get it together, and I really felt for him. And he's like, hey, how's it going? Wow, you look amazing. He kept touching my abs. It was still weird. I was like, okay, kept touching my abs. Wow, you're in great shape. Awesome, dude. We were always good. You were always good, right? We're always good. You're always good. We're always good. I'm like, and I felt weird. I'm like, we were not really ever good. I don't remember what part of faggot was good. But I could see him inside his own stuff, trying to make that, I actually could feel for him. And the weird thing was, I gave him my number, and he kept calling me. We're good, it's all easy, and I hug other gay guys and stuff, it's good, we just hug like that, it's fine. Just, it was weird, but I felt like he's trying to, he's trying to get a first down, he's like throwing himself over his own baggage of homophobia at me, trying to do the thing, make the amends. And I was like, and at some point I just sort of said, I know stuff happened, and we're cool. It's okay. And he was like, yeah, we're always good, I just hug you he didn't have the ability to sort of sit there and be with me. But I got that he was doing the best that he could do, for a straight, pretty homophobic, guy. And the sad thing was, he kept calling me, he's like, yeah, we should do shows together, we should tour, some shows. And I'm like, I just stopped picking up the phone because he got kind of crazy. And then he hung himself in the woods in front of my parents' house. Which, I feel horrible, but it showed me this certain compassion for people that were horrible to me. They're not doing it because they have nothing else to do. They have been bullied. They have been damaged. And they don't have a true colors or know that there's a true colors or some place for them to kind of process or be a better human being. So, I have no idea how abuse that is for you. But it's just something to remind us that while we're being attacked, they're not attacking us from joy. There's pain inside of them too. So that might give you a little space when someone calls you a faggot or a dyke or something inappropriate, that they might actually have that inside of them. So it's really important that we create a safe place for everyone, including the bullies. Call them out on it, or however. There's so many different ways. But I was also talking about how, to a friend who, not everyone, I did a show up in Windsor Locks, Connecticut. I don't know if people know where that is. Oh, wow, okay. Now, I went out there thinking, oh, Windsor Locks, Connecticut, lovely. Yeah, that's another Duck Dynasty, RuPaul's Drag Race, kind of whoa, what's going on here? And I was subbing for someone who got sick, one of my mentors, and I got up there, and the comic that was opening for me was like a nightmare comic. He was like, whatever, insert homophobia, misogyny, racism, and his closer was a song we got the whole audience to clap together and sing this shit was bigger than mine, and it was so transphobic and homophobic. It was just painful. And the whole audience was it was like the musical Mamma Mia version of Ku Klux Klan. And I have to go up after this guy. He's going to bring me up with his big, hateful song. And I look at this room, and I'm like, oh my God, he made jokes about Sulu being Asian and gay, and I'm wearing this whole blue, I look like a polo version of Sulu at this point. to enter, you know. And it's really these moments, these are the learning moments for myself and teaching moments for whenever we are in, I mean, we're all going to be in a situation like this. Maybe not exactly the context, but we're all going to be in a place that's unsafe. And we have to decide, how do we show up in these moments? And so as a comic, I can't kind of go up there and just be like, yeah, these chicks, whoa, big chicks, I mean, I have to be myself. That is my power. I've learned through thousands and thousands of shows, like, your most powerful thing you can do is to be you, no apologies. Even when you're standing in the middle of one of the it's like a diner near the airport, it's like a banquet hall in the back of the diner next to like a parking lot with, you know, tractors and random body parts. Like, and I'm like, okay. They're like, well, can you do 30 minutes? I'm like, sure. And the guy brings me up, doesn't even pronounce my name correctly, you know, I'm like, oh God. But I get up there and the microphone falls out. They're all like, yeah! And I just put it on, I'm like, click, click, 1, 2, 1, 2. Hey, I speak English, surprise! I said, I know, this is the closest thing to Sulu your town is going to see. So take it in. I looked around and I just said, wow. I said, even the dishwashers in this place are white. I'm in. You know, and really, you have to call out what the elephant is in the room. You have to call that shit out. And it was this amazing moment where I felt like, okay, I felt like I was in high school with every single jock in the audience with a lot of beer. And you're like, ah! But like, you call it, and they respect you. And then they're like all suddenly feeding out of my hands. I just kind of went, couple number 1, couple number 2, couple number 3, calling the back. And there were women in the audience that started hitting on me during the performance. And I have a ring, and they're like, well, he's got a ring on. I'm like, yeah, well, after 2 drinks, she's not going to notice or care. And I was sort of playing with them. But at one point, I just did my coming out, and the room just sort of went. And I brought them on board. And I was like, oh my God, they are like eating out of my hand. And from like wanting to like, you know, get like a grenade and just smoke bomb, throw it in the room and get the hell out of there. Now they're all like sitting in my lap talking to me, and it's a moment when you trust that who you are is valuable. And that is an inside job. Like, nobody walks around going, hey, you're valuable, you're valuable. We have to learn to give it to ourselves. We here have an opportunity to give it to each other. You know, I didn't get that in high school. I didn't get that walking on the street. I didn't get that. You don't get that from Vogue magazine. You get you're fat, you're not white enough, you're not black, you're whatever. You get all this stuff from the media. I mean, I remember even like America's Next Top Model, which I love. She's saying to all these super skinny models, like, you need to lose 20 pounds to be beautiful. And I was like, okay, 2 things. Number 1, power banks is evil, must be destroyed. In a loving way, a loving, safe way. And number 2, I have to go to the gym. But anyway, but that was such a powerful performance. I could not believe that they had turned. But it's because I was willing to just, this is who I am, I have no apologies. And the audience will respect you, and the world responds to when you honor yourself and you respect yourself, bam, level changes. So, yeah. And the interesting thing was, after the performance, there was another comic that came up after me. And every single homo joke that he did bombed. The audience had changed. Because they had seen a gay person that was a human being that had balls and owned his power. And they were like, I can't laugh at that shit. There's a gay person here who's fierce. You know? But even if it doesn't even matter. Like, every time we show up, we're not necessarily going to go bam and like own it. And like the world changes in front of us. But the fact that we're there, the fact that we are holding a space within ourselves, it's a different conversation that doesn't accept that behavior. Every one of us has a mic. Everywhere you go, you have a mic. Who you are is your mic. And if the one thing I give you today is to remember that you are speaking your truth, you can own who you are, how beautiful you are, how unique each of you is. regardless of if you crush in a room full of drunk people with shotguns and bad facial hair, you can own your beauty, and the level playing field shifts. One person, one conversation, one moment of, hey, I didn't think that was a cool thing for you to say, or hey, I identify as this gender, or hey, I have friends that are gay, or hey, I'm gay. Or whatever those moments are, that's your mic. That's your transformative moment. And it's not some big dramatic thing. It's just right here, inside of you. So, thank you all for being here. And that's another thing, when I do gay events, I gotta call that stuff out. I mean, I call it out in front of straight people, but I said, gay men will cut to the chase on their profiles. They'll put on their profile, these are gay men seeking gay men. No fats, no femmes, no Asians. Nice. Triple crown. I always have to translate for straight audiences. Like, no, in the gay world, this is considered morbidly obese. Because gay men, this is not fair, this is not pretty. But if you go to a hookup site for men, it is so objectified. Gay men will put on their profile seeking maximum 4% body fat. You know what 4% body fat looks like? That's when you have abs on your forehead. Like, relax, conservative Christians. Gay people are not recruiting. They are auditioning. Don't worry, not gonna make it. But my favorite and the saddest is gay men will put on their profiles seeking straight acting only. Why don't you just say self-loathing only? Or I hate myself, let's fuck. Like, how horrible can we be to ourselves and then hook up and reinforce bullying inside ourselves when we're trying to connect with other human beings? It's horrible. But that's the power of comedy. You can really call out the darkest wounds and put some light on it. And then twist it, throw it up, laugh, but then walk away like, ooh, wow, that's serious. It's hilarious. Oh my God, that's sad. But you get the conversation out there. And that's how you transform the level playing